thanks for joining in. We haven't done updates in a couple days for a few reasons. We've had some stuff going on, and as you've been able to see in the updates that we've done so far, our emotions are very up and down, especially mine. And so
Mine's there
if you
too,
watched the last update, it was one of my worst days. Today I think I'm okay, so I don't think I'm gonna break down sobbing like I do sometimes. So those who are uncomfortable with emotion, you should be okay today. Okay, so today I'm trying to think. We haven't had a lot of time to get our thoughts and presentation ready. Today, sorry, my hair is weird. I just got out of the shower.
You smell good though.
That's good. So we've been in touch with our friends today. We've had word from our pastor friend in occupied territory. He is okay. I think we're starting to hear in his texts fatigue and exhaustion, obviously. He's going, not only does he have his own family, his wife and his daughter to worry about, being in occupied territory now where, Russians are taking people off the streets. There have been some, horror stories of civilians in occupied territory just getting shot in the middle of the street, getting abducted. So our pastor friend, has his wife and his daughter to worry about, but then he's the one who their family took in 7 children who were orphaned, who they found in a basement on the second or third day.
Yeah.
So now he has, 7 little children in addition, living under their roof that he has to provide for and supply for, as well as he's a pastor. So he has members of his congregation who did not leave for whatever reason and are still there in their town. So he's every day he's sending us pictures of just his vehicle full, literally stuffed full, every single space in his vehicle stuffed full of food supplies and diapers and what other kinds of stuff has he been buying? Medicine.
Bread, fruit, vegetables, potatoes.
Yeah.
We don't know where he's getting it from necessarily.
I think there are just still some stores that
Are getting
are
resupplied
open
or something.
Yeah.
But we're excited that he's able to.
Yeah, so he's doing well as can be expected under the circumstances. Continue to pray for him, pray for his wife and his daughter who are looking after the 7 orphans every day while the pastor, their husband and father, goes around ministering to the community and their church. Our other pastor friend who joined up with the military, even though he didn't have to because he's past, what do you call it?
Conscription age?
Conscription age, thank you.
Yep.
But he chose to fight for his country and his family. We don't hear much from him. He is out in a field somewhere in Ukraine, and we've had one message from him, although we were thrilled to hear from him and just know that he's alive. He sent us a very handsome picture of him and his uniform. We're very proud of him, but also obviously very worried for his safety. Not that we don't know where he will be if he loses his life, but just obviously, we love him and we want him to have a long, joy-filled life on this earth with his wife and his grandchild and his children. So just continue to pray for him, pray for his wife. Obviously, I'm sure this is chatted with her the other day, and, she isn't obviously going to divulge how difficult it is, but obviously it's very difficult for her. She's worried about her husband. She wants him to return safely. So just continue to pray for their family. We're still able to a degree, to send funds to them. The one pastor who is now with the military, we've asked them how they're doing. They say they're fine. They have enough. So we haven't sent any to their family. Heroям slava, привіт. we haven't sent any to their family in a little while because they say they're doing okay. Our other pastor, who's in occupied territory, he's obviously spending a lot of money every day buying supplies, especially medicines are very expensive. Diapers have gotten very expensive. So he's the main one that we're trying to continue to get funds to. Jesse had been using MoneyGram, which had been amazing because MoneyGram is instantaneous, but that has stopped working, correct?
Yeah, I might try to send like 10 because I'm silly and don't learn very quickly. I was still trying to send larger amounts of money to him, and they were getting rejected, and then it takes several days for them to get back into our account. So I might start sending like $10 or $5 to see if it's up and running or not. However, on Saturday, I went to the bank and began a process for a $3,000 wire to him. And I talked to the bank today and they were sending it off. And so we're going to see how that goes. Obviously, that's not instantaneous. It's not Western Union or crypto or anything like that. That's far quicker. But I'm hopeful because of his bank account situation that we'll be able to get a significant amount of money to him. So
you can pray for that situation as well, that we can continue getting your funds, because a lot of you watching are the ones who have donated this money that we have to send to them. We're by no means rich, so we don't have this much money to send to them. So y'all are amazing. Thank you for giving, continuing to give. So our main focus is getting funds to our pastor friend in occupied territory.
So that's one of our guys. Another one of our guys is he's outside of Odessa a little bit, and he is.
Thank you, Christy.
He's doing okay. He has a van. He's been transporting people to Moldova, and he has another van that is broken and needs a starter. So Bria and
brakes.
And brakes.
Serious.
So we have been communicating as best as we can because his mind is all over the place, and working to get some people that Bria knows in Poland to be able to buy auto parts from money that we have. And then when he comes to the Moldovan border, we'll be able to give him those parts to take back to the other van.
Moldova, not Poland.
Sorry, Moldova. Yeah. Go back to where he is outside of Odessa and be able to fix that van in the next few days. So he has some money that we have already forwarded to him. And I just wanted to touch on the fact that gasoline, as we know here, I saw it was obviously really expensive just out, near us. It is brutal in Europe and has been much higher. And so Bria can touch on that a little bit more in a minute, but we are,
Hi, Peggy.
We are being able to supply funds for gasoline for folks.
Yeah, gas in Ukraine. So if any of you are watching who don't know who we are, and don't know our story, I lived in Ukraine for 30 years from the time I was 13. And so gas in Ukraine has always been more expensive than it is in the States. So if gas prices here in the States are getting astronomical for us, you can imagine what it's like for Ukraine, especially under the current circumstances where people don't, for the most part, people, if they are still in Ukraine, they don't have jobs. Obviously they're all in basically a war zone. So people aren't able to work. They don't have income. So on top of that, you have now gas prices shooting up, other, expenses shooting up. So yeah, it's like Jesse said, it's brutal for the people there.
Yeah. So we're still working on, we've got a few different contacts in a few different places dotted around the country. And we're trying to invest in them, get them funds. Obviously, we vet them. We make sure that we have a relationship with them, or people that we are close to and trust, and Bria has worked with in the past, can vet them and say, yeah, this pastor or these people, definitely help them, because they are then going to help others in their communities that are stuck. So
today we were able to, on a very personal note,
Yeah,
we were
I
able
want you to share about your friends.
to send some money to some really dear friends of mine. They are in Poland. I've known them for, gosh, almost 20 years. Um, we met, so they are some of the top Ukrainian jazz musicians. Brilliant, brilliant musicians, very close friends. Like I said, that
You're gonna make me cry.
I've known for 20 years. And they had to flee, and now they have no home. I was chatting with her today, and I was just asking, like, how are you doing? And she was like, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to go home. We don't even know what to do. We don't know if we need to start trying to establish a life somewhere else. If so, where do we go? What city do we go to? What do we do? Um, Her husband is currently basically serving his country as best he can by helping other people who are fleeing from Ukraine. So we were able to send them some funds because they've spent a lot of the cash reserves, the money reserves that they have on. He's just driving from where they are in Poland to the border, picking up Ukrainians who are fleeing and driving them back into Ukraine, to refugee centers or
Back into Poland.
back into Poland, to places where they can get help. So he's spent hundreds of dollars just in gas alone, just taking people from the border into Poland to where they can get help. So we were able to use some of the funds that y'all have sent to bless them and help reimburse some of their funds that they've been using up on gas and helping their countrymen. But just pray for them, and just millions, at this point it's millions of families like them who had a life in Ukraine. They were, these friends of mine, they've spent the last 20 years establishing themselves as some of the most brilliant jazz musicians in Ukraine. And now they have no home and they have nowhere to go. So it's just one example of just the everyday lives of people in Ukraine who everything has changed now. So thank you for praying for these people.
I would say that you feel, when I've talked to some of them, there is a feeling of isolation, that they know that they're one of 1.5 million people that are fleeing. And we think of them like the news does. It's just this sum of people. It is a number that we don't understand truly. And they know that, and so they feel very small. And so when we're able to get on, Facebook, and Bree is able to talk to them personally over phone or over messenger of some sort and say, hey, listen, we know you, we know your name, we know your story, we love you. And in fact, there's hundreds of people in Western New York and dotted around the world. Hey, we've got money, and we're giving it to you for gas. Like, that not only is a gospel moment for us as believers in Jesus, but it's also a moment where we are able to let them know that they are more than part of 1.5 million people, that they are loved and cherished, and that we also applaud, moving from an unbelievable drummer to a chauffeur, but that his identity is still as a man who's taking care of his family and other people that he loves. I just was going to talk about some of the other parts of the band that you play with. And this is another example where it is a Ukrainian young man and a British woman, and she has gone home to Britain, and he is now stuck in Ukraine. And so again, whether he is conscripted or not, I'm not sure exactly what his situation is, but his wife is back in Britain, and they are separated. And again, multiply that times hundreds of thousands. And so we are just encouraging these folks, the people that need funding. Obviously, we're gonna see and do whatever we can. But part of this is for Bria and I, as best as we can, to share stories that can be copied and pasted 100 times, but also let you know exactly where your funds are going to the very best of our ability, and let you know that we're really trying hard to get money and encouragement to people that need it the most right now.
Someone had asked on one of my social media pages how to give through Jesse and me. So if you want to do that, your funds will go to more individual Ukrainians, our friends, the friends of our friends who, them personally, who are either trying to escape Ukraine, who are staying and serving people in their country. So you can send those to Jess either on Venmo, which is at JESSEPOHLE, Jesse Poley, or PayPal, which is at JELHOP. So you can donate on a more personal level like that through us, and we will get your funds into the hands of Ukrainians who need them. Or if you want to donate on a larger scale to like a nonprofit where you can get a tax exempt for your donation or whatever, we highly recommend Samaritan's Purse. I know employees of Samaritan's Purse who are in Ukraine right now doing work both in Ukraine and outside the border of Ukraine and other countries with refugees. So if you just go to the Samaritan's Purse, I believe it's a .org website, you can just Google it, and they have a special Ukraine crisis fund that you can donate to, so that will go to helping the Ukrainians. Or if you go on my social media, I did a post with a couple of options where you can donate to. You can actually donate through the National Bank of Ukraine to the army, to the Ukrainian army, because that's also very important at this time to help Ukrainians, not just the displaced Ukrainians, which is very important, helping the refugees, but also to help the Ukrainians who are fighting to keep their land. So if you want to help those who are there still in their country trying to defend their land so that the Ukrainian refugees have a place to come back to when this is all over, you can do that through the National Bank of Ukraine. They have a special fund for the Ukrainian army. You can find that on my social media pages. Just look up Bria Blessing, just like it's spelled on my YouTube channel, and donate there. I don't know if y'all can see the chat. There's a chat. So that's what I keep reacting to later on when this gets posted and it's not a live stream. It might look a little, I don't know if I'm going to look like crazy because I'm constantly like leaning forward to the screen and like waving and smiling. Just so you know, that's what's going on. Just reading the comments that y'all are writing. І для тих, хто пишуть українською, хочу просто пояснити, чому ми робимо ці апдейти англійською. Це для того, щоб англомовні люди розуміли краще ситуацію. Вони дивляться новини, але це загальна картинка. І ми хочемо їм давати таку дуже особисту картинку, щоб вони розуміли індивідуальні історії українців, які зараз страждають, і чому варто їм допомагати. Ось чому ми робимо це англійською. I was just explaining.
Do you want me to translate?
Oh, you want to translate?
The peanut butter is runny
No.
on Friday afternoons for some... No?
So I was just explaining to... nice try.
Thank you.
I was just explaining to the Ukrainians who watch why we do these updates in English, that we want to give English speakers who are outside of Ukraine a more individualized picture of what's going on in Ukraine, instead of just the kind of big picture that you see on the news. Anyways, this is 20 minutes long, and we try not to make these too long. So Scott says he loves the beard.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks y'all for checking in, for caring enough to watch these updates, for caring about our friends and our family in Ukraine. My family is doing well. They're exhausted. At the moment, they have over 20 refugees in their home. My family is on the western side of Ukraine. So they're helping Ukrainians who are coming through, most of them in transit usually. Further on, they're usually on their way to Poland or other European countries coming through our city. But they appreciate your translation, Jess.
Oh, good. Very good.
But some of the refugees coming through are staying with my parents, and they're amazing. They're asking my parents and my sister to put them to work, to give them something to keep them busy. So they're helping around the house with cooking for all of the people, with doing all the laundry and cleaning the bathrooms, because when you have just this rotating door of so many people coming through, that's a lot of laundry and a lot of cleaning that has to be done constantly. So yeah, my family is good. I think they're just getting, obviously, as everyone is in Ukraine, more exhausted by the day, but they just keep fighting because this is home. Oh yes, thank you so much, Mark, for saying that. If you're sending donations through Jesse and me, through Jesse's Venmo or PayPal, please make a note that that's a gift for Ukraine relief or something like that. Just make sure it says a gift for Ukraine, or for Ukraine war relief, or Ukraine humanitarian relief, or something like that, because y'all have sent in like thousands of dollars of donations, and that's incredible, and we love that, and we're not going to stop for any reason taking your donations and getting them to our friends in Ukraine. But next year, when tax time rolls around, we could be looking at a little bit of an issue. But that's okay. If that's at the least of our troubles, that's fine. We'll deal with it when we get there. But if you include a note that it's a gift for Ukraine relief, then that will hopefully make tax time a little better. But anyways, we're going to shut this down because we're over 20 minutes now. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for caring and loving our people in Ukraine.
Yes.
Like you do. Thanks for praying. Keep praying. Yeah, pray for just everything.
That's good.
Yeah.
Pray for everything.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all, very much.
Bye.
See you later.